That morning was unlike any other. The sun rose gently, its rays painting soft golden hues across the sky, filtering through the half-open curtains of our living room. I had just made myself a cup of coffee, still groggy from the restless night before, when I noticed my father sitting quietly on the couch. His posture was different, heavier somehow, as though the weight of something unseen had been pressing down on his shoulders for years. His eyes weren't focused on the television or even the window. They were fixed on the floor, lost in thought. I paused, unsure whether to disturb his solitude, but he turned his head slightly, his eyes catching mine, and he said in a soft but steady voice, "Emily, can you come sit with me? There's something I need to tell you." My father, Michael, had always been a man of few words. He wasn't the kind to share his feelings openly. He provided for our family, made sure we were safe, and loved us in his quiet way, through actions more than words. That morning, though, there was something different about him. I set my coffee down and walked toward him, my heart already tightening with curiosity and unease. I sat beside him on the couch, the leather squeaking softly under the shift of our weight. He sighed, a deep and tired sigh, and for a moment, I thought he might change his mind. But then he placed his weathered hand gently over mine and began to speak. "Emily," he said, his voice low, almost trembling, "there's something I've carried with me for many years. Something I should have told you long ago. I've hidden it because I thought I was protecting you, protecting our family. But as time goes on, I realize keeping it inside has only built a wall between us. And I can't let that wall stand any longer." My chest tightened. My father rarely spoke like this. His words sounded heavy, like he was about to release something that had been locked away for decades. I searched his eyes, the same hazel eyes I had inherited, and I could see both fear and relief battling within them. "What is it, Dad?" I asked softly, my voice almost cracking with worry. He looked away for a moment, his gaze drifting to the sunlight dancing across the living room floor. Then, after another deep breath, he began his story. "Before you were born, before I met your mother," he said slowly, "my life was very different. I wasn't the man you know today. I made mistakes. Mistakes I've spent years trying to make peace with." I swallowed hard, my palms sweating as his words sank in. I had always known my father as the steady, reliable man who worked tirelessly to support us, who coached my soccer games when I was little, who fixed the squeaky floorboards in the hallway late at night. To imagine him as someone else, someone carrying mistakes big enough to haunt him for years, was almost impossible. He tightened his grip on my hand, steadying himself. "When I was in my 20s, I was reckless. I hung around people who weren't good for me. I thought I was invincible, that nothing could touch me. I got into trouble more than once, trouble that could have ruined my future. But the biggest thing I kept from you, the truth I've carried, is that you're not the only child I have." His words struck me like a bolt of lightning. My heart stopped for a moment, then raced uncontrollably. "What do you mean?" I whispered, my throat dry. He nodded slowly, his eyes brimming with regret. "You have a half-brother, Emily. He was born before I met your mother. His name is Daniel." I sat frozen, staring at him in disbelief. My father had a son I had never known about? A brother who had been out there all this time? My mind swirled with questions, confusion, and a rush of emotions I couldn't even name. Why didn't you ever tell me? Why didn't you tell Mom?" My voice was trembling now, a mixture of shock and hurt. "I wanted to," he said, his own eyes glistening with tears he rarely showed. "But when I met your mother, I promised myself I'd build a new life, one free from the chaos of my past. She knew parts of it. She knew I'd made mistakes, but I didn't tell her everything. Daniel's mother and I, we were young, and things ended badly. I wasn't ready to be a father then. She moved away with him, and for years I didn't know where they were. By the time I tracked them down, Daniel was already grown, already carrying his own hurt for my absence. I thought keeping it from you would spare you the confusion and the pain. But the truth is, hiding it only made it worse." Tears pricked at my eyes as I listened. I had always seen my father as strong, almost unshakable. Seeing him now, vulnerable and broken open, was almost unbearable. "Do you still talk to him?" I asked, my voice fragile. He nodded slowly. "Over the last few years, we've reconnected a little. It hasn't been easy. He has every right to be angry with me, and some days he is. But he's also given me a chance I never thought I'd have. And, Emily, he's asked about you. He wants to meet you." My breath caught. The idea of meeting a brother I never knew existed filled me with both excitement and fear. Part of me wanted to run, to pretend none of this was happening, but another part of me, deep down, yearned to know him, to fill the empty space I didn't even realize had been there all along. I looked at my father, at the lines of regret etched into his face, and I realized just how much this truth had cost him. All those years of silence, all those nights he must have lain awake, wondering if he'd ever find the courage to tell me. I squeezed his hand back, tears streaming down my face. "Dad, thank you for telling me. I can't imagine how hard this has been for you. I don't know what to feel right now, but I know I want to meet him." For the first time in what felt like years, my father smiled. Not the small, polite smile he usually gave, but a real one, filled with both relief and hope. He pulled me into his arms and held me tightly. "You don't know how much that means to me, Emily," he whispered. "You don't know how much I've prayed for this day." The rest of the morning we sat there together, my coffee long forgotten, as he told me more about Daniel. He told me about the way Daniel had grown up, about the struggles he faced without a father, about the resilience he had shown despite the pain. He shared stories of the few times they had met in recent years, the awkward but meaningful conversations they had, the tentative steps toward rebuilding what had once been broken. As I listened, I began to picture Daniel not as a stranger, but as part of me, part of our family. And though my heart ached for all the lost years, I also felt something new blooming inside me. Hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, our family could grow stronger, even with its cracks and imperfections. The morning sun rose higher, filling the room with light, and for the first time, I truly saw my father, not just as the man who raised me, but as a man who had carried pain, regret, and love in equal measure. A man who had finally chosen honesty over silence. And though his truth had shaken me, it had also brought us closer than ever before. That morning changed everything. It was the day my father sat beside me and shared the truth he had carried for years. It was the day I learned I had a brother. It was the day the walls between us crumbled, replaced by something far more precious: honesty, forgiveness, and the chance for new beginnings.